Hey guys, welcome back. This is the last wrap up. It's day 4, it's all finished up and the show's done. But we didn't do one on day 3. We did a massive walk on day 3, but we didn't do any videos on day 3. There's a few meetings and stuff, and we just went through the show. Some of the more boring parts of the show, not so relevant.
There was only 1 or 2 things that stood out, really.
Yeah, so cover Earth and those today, as well as a bunch of stuff that we did today. So kicking off, Accu-Tac put out their new prototype bipod, which is very interesting. They haven't got a name for it yet, but
do we just call it the Accu-Tac Hydro?
I think so. They're talking about hydropod or something on those lines. And so it's a big, wide ELR type focus setup. But its big distinctive feature is that it's actually hydraulic. And so there's a little sort of a dial you can adjust at the back remotely, and that has a hydraulic pipe that runs through.
Feeds into a nice big beefy base.
And then that allows, like, as you adjust that, it'll lift it up or it'll wind it down, and very, very ultra fine movements, which is
I imagine that out at sort of 2-3 Ks, that you just need just the smallest little movement, and that changes a lot.
Exactly right. Very fine movement. So that's a really I haven't seen one of those before. Maybe they exist, but I haven't seen a hydro bipod of some description. So that was really, really cool to see them.
Very cool. Very cool. I spied out the Zimot arms. They do the Remex stuff.
I don't know how it's pronounced.
I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm going to roll with that.
They said it, and whatever they said is not how I pronounce it, and I don't remember what they said. So yes, but they had a chassis. These guys make the Remex actions.
They have. That's what I was interested in. But yeah, they had a new chassis.
Reminds me of J. Allen. J.E.
Yep.
A few elements on it reminded me of that, but there's a lot of like a timber finish on it, so it's quite nice to...
It's sort of a nice balance between both. You've got that aluminium ingrained with the timber on the sides as well.
Yeah, so that was cool to see. We actually got some time today with the Zeiss S3, both the 4 to 25 and the 6 to 36. They look freaking cool.
They do. They look very cool. I've noticed too. There's been a lot of people asking about them.
The LRP, the S5 LRPs, I always thought were good. There's nothing wrong with them, but they were just lacking a few things. Those things are no longer lacking.
Yes.
They've stepped up their game quickly. On this, so
because what were they previously in their magnification range?
525. Was the other one, and 3 to 18.
Yeah, so jumping into that 6 to 36, you're really up there with your Night Force and Vortex.
It is absolutely. But even the turrets feel nicer.
Yes.
The illumination options are better. The locking windage, I think that was the same. It's just there was a few things like built-in throw levers and stuff. A few things that were just those little extras that they've sort of come to table on.
So those things that could sway you just a little bit.
Absolutely. Speaking of optics, Steiner have a whole range of new optics now. The T5X is being replaced by the T6X.
Yes.
And so there was there'll be a video coming out through Beretta about that.
That's a solid range.
Big range.
At a big range.
Yeah. And they've still retained the turret that as you dial around to 12 MRAD, it'll click over and...
that was very cool.
What do you call it? Is always right or always wrong?
Yeah, something like that. It's just whatever you're looking at is always the number.
Is the correct number. Yeah. So as you're around that second rotation...
Smart for if you're going out those distances and you need to punch that next rotation out. You never get lost.
Absolutely. Now, we forgot we were going to have a drink because we're in the US, so we can order Prime, and most of you guys...
Ordered Prime with Prime.
With Amazon Prime. And, being that we do this stuff on YouTube, Prime's part of the culture. So, there you go. Meta Moon for you.
Yep. Give that a crack.
Some of that.
Looks like water.
It does look like water, but it won't taste like water.
It does not taste like water.
No, not sponsored. Just we're in the US and stuff's hard to get back home, so we thought we'd try it out. Okay.
That new Manners stock today was very, very impressive.
Extremely light. It's one of those ones where you go to pick it up, and Manners has always got a bit of weight to them. Even their light ones, you end up with a nice big heavy gun in there.
Yeah.
No. No. This one I nearly put through the roof.
Yeah.
If we weren't in such a big showroom, you grabbed it and Tom handed it to me and it went up.
Yes. Yeah.
Way light.
Yeah, I couldn't believe you even said to me that it was extremely light. I overheard it and grabbed it and still went, oh, okay. Yeah, that was ridiculous.
There's a really cool thing on the end of that particular stock. There was a little Picatinny rail that was Picatinny for like maybe 3 slots.
Yeah, it's very
then
short.
There was like this, basically a sling stud setup. And then the stock had been finished with like I guess, grooves on the sides. And it's designed that you could run an Atlas or your Akitaka or something, or a Harris on the same setup without having to change or choose or anything along those lines.
Yeah.
So that was
and there was a little section of Arca sort of on your balancing point on the gun as well.
Yep. Just in front of the magwell, so that was quite cool.
I did like the finish on that too.
Oh, that was like
very,
a glossy.
Very glossy and shiny.
Look. Yeah. So, actually, while we were at Manners, Eric Cortina bumped into us.
He did.
Or we bumped into him or something. So there was some bumping going on.
Yeah, I didn't recognise him to start with, and then looked his name tag, and I was like, hey, I don't know much about reloading, but I know this dude's a big deal.
So it was good to meet him. Now, Taylor, who we do a bit of stuff with, Taylor's a big fan of Eric Cortina, so there's a video coming, Taylor. You will like it.
You will like it very much.
You will like it. So now, speaking of a bunch of people who are cool, we stopped in at KG.
We did.
We caught up with Vince and Anton and
yeah, they were rad dudes.
Met Journey as well. And you did it. You were keen to do a video on that C4, so we did.
I was.
And Vince took you through all the features of that. That thing is just fully loaded.
It's got so much on it.
It's just a solid chassis.
It makes me want one, and then all the import tax kicks in for over here, and you go, ooh.
I showed Vince my GT, and he'd seen the GT paintwork before. He's like, that's yours. I remember that.
Journey was very keen on it, though.
I showed Journey the photo, and she lost it.
Yes, she did.
She was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Can you send that to me right now? I need that.
Yes, I need it.
I need it in my life. So I sent her some photos, not the chassis, the photos, but sent her the photos, and she was like, I need to show these people, to people in person. So
yeah.
Big shout out to Delta Tactical for the amazing Cerakote job on that one. I went to Pulsar as well. Oh, there was a whole stack of new stuff. The mergers. I think we might have mentioned
We
this.
did cover this.
Yeah, we did talk about that. So that's right, and they had heaps of Vegemite. We got a few more people eating Vegemite as well, which was good. Went to Spur, met Hacken. He showed us the chassis that was out last year.
Yeah.
But particularly a couple of features on it. Do you remember those?
I do remember there's a couple of features. There was the adjustable bag rest at the bottom. That looked like it had a lot of adjustment in it.
There was, yeah. It's got like this sort of a bag rider that sits down the bottom on an angle. Oh, sorry, it's flat. There's an angle piece, and the angle piece extends out.
Yeah.
So you can adjust a lot.
Yeah, their integrated system on the bottom of their chassis are really interesting with the mount for bipods that they've got.
So they use an Arca rail with holes for indents, and they've got these 2 stainless steel.
Yeah, because it's a plate that your bipod bolts to, isn't it?
Yeah. And then that will allow you to press the button and it releases it. You can slide it wherever you want and then release, and away you go. No doing up, no quick release.
But once you slide it on and it's locked in, it is solid. It is not moving anywhere.
So that was cool to see. Just down from them was Arken. We stopped in at Arken, saw the new lightweight. What did you think of that, Josh?
It's interesting.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, a little bit of a smaller package.
Yep.
I guess there has been one complaint I've seen from a couple people just in
about
talking of just they are heavy.
They're big and bulky.
People love them, but I guess the weight is a factor, especially if you're doing some hunting stuff. So I think this will tick a lot of boxes for a few people that weight has come down.
They did tease that there are some other low power optics coming as well from that. So you may not have overheard that bit, but they did tell me about that. Stopped in and finally met the guys from Nearly Made Perfect. Which was really good, and they ran us through their amp press.
They did. That was a whole heap of information that was way over my head.
Which is it's like it's a seating setup, but it's all anyway. The video's coming soon, so watch that.
It looked very impressive, and it looked like you were able to keep track of the stuff you were doing and keep a very consistent and accurate reload going.
Super consistent. So, and then find out when it wasn't super consistent. So, very interesting to do. We stopped past the AI booth briefly. They had a ELR version of the AX.
They did.
It looked amazing.
It was very beefy. Yeah.
The thing was huge. Speaking of huge, we met Frank Galley. Frank is not huge.
Yeah.
Good to meet Frank. Met him briefly earlier in the week, and actually had some time to chat with him and hang out with him. And one day we'll get him out to Australia to run some courses or do some matches or something like that.
Imagine there'll be some people that'd be very keen for that.
Yeah, but it was good to spend time with. And yes, we did start talking about aliens with him.
Good.
So did bring up that subject, and away he went. as for those who listen to his podcast, you guys will know that. One thing that we didn't get to see but got told about, bumped into John from 8541 Tactical a couple of times. One of the things he said was his favourite of the show was from Hollow Sun. It was a red dot that had thermal and night vision built into it.
Yeah, which is just crazy.
You could turn them on, turn them off. Now, I didn't ever see how big the thing was.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I'm doing that, because it's just... could be this big. But that was a very interesting setup.
I believe I saw some footage, and I believe it is in one of the smaller units.
Yeah, okay. It looked like it from his photos, but the photos were all looking through it. So that's interesting. I'm keen to check that out. We missed our opportunity today, unfortunately. But that is all right. We met a guy called Jay, who was a connection back from a guy in Adelaide, and he loaded us up with stickers and magazines and all sorts of gear. He was keen. He builds guns and bits and pieces here, and there were some amazing finishes on his guns. I don't know if you saw them, but yeah.
No, I don't think I did.
He probably actually ended up taking some photos of them without realising how it.
Oh, that's right. No, I did see the one that had the HKS finish on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looked awesome.
That did look sweet. So the last booth we went to today was I saw a guy that we'd interviewed actually back in, I think it was 2019. A guy called Buck Holly, who did the video with MDT and talked about the Skypod and the ACC chassis.
Yep.
All those years ago. And Buck and I stayed in touch a little bit, just following each other's journey. Looked him up just before the show, be like, I saw that he was going to be there. I'm like, oh, great.
Yeah.
And his business has blown up something chronic.
Yeah, they had a solid booth.
They had a big booth.
Yeah.
And we walked past, and I didn't know, Buck and I stay in touch from time to time, but not on a regular basis. Yeah. And so I was hoping he'd recognise me, but, maybe. We walked past, and they were sitting down at these little tables and chairs, and he looks at me and he's like...
Because he was on the phone at the time.
He was. And all the people around him jumped up to make way for us to sit down. I'm like, no, it's
fine.
Anyway, Buck's like, sit down, we're doing a podcast. So, and he kindly watches our videos and bits and pieces. So we sat down and I made him try Vegemite, which is great.
It's the only thing to do at SHOT Shows, make people try Vegemite.
I did give it most people are just giving a little bit on the thing.
I gave him a solid amount.
He then went back for seconds.
Oh, there you go. It can't be that bad then.
Only bloke that I saw go back, but he's doing well in his side of things, which is a lot of red dots and that sort of stuff. But it was cool to see. It was cool to see. So, Josh, 4 days plus range day. You now everyone might be looking at Josh thinking, man, he looks pretty hammered. He's pretty hammered.
Yeah, that is an accurate description.
But not from getting hammered.
No.
No,
actually.
So
I think there was maybe one night that I had got on the drinks a fair bit, and that was it. Been pretty tame.
Range day, I think, took it out of him. The winds were insane. And then,
it was the 12-hour flight delay did not help my cause. That was brutal.
So that's I look like this because of the drinks, but he looks he looks like this. He's not been well. But Josh, despite trying to sleep as much as he possibly can in this trip,
yes,
how's it been for you?
It's been awesome.
Yep.
It's been an experience, that's for sure, and just it's the scale of everything. Everything is just so much bigger.
So you've come into the industry from a point of through the precision rifle series being like the main thing. Now you know that the pistols exist and other stuff.
Yeah, there's other things out there,
but you haven't had much experience with them and exposure to them.
Well, this was the first gun show ever. Yeah.
So expectation versus reality, like what we were expecting and how close did it get? Or
I was way off. Yeah. I was way off. I knew the size of things would be big, but then actually you walk through one forum, you walk through another, you go to another, and then you find out there's still more off the side, and you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I told you today, I'm like, there's 2 holes we haven't done.
We haven't touched. Yeah. Yeah, and I knew the whole scale for the home defense, AR-15, that kind of stuff was big. But actually coming out and seeing it and seeing just how many there are was yeah, very eye-opening.
It's a big industry.
Yeah. But there's some very cool little custom guns and bits and pieces that you see. You see some very awesome Cerakote jobs. You're like, oh, yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Hiding out the back of stalls and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Even going through some of the stuff I'm familiar with, like the AIs, and familiar with them from a PRS background. But then seeing some of the stuff they actually use them for, and you're like, that's a big gun. That's a huge gun.
Was there anything that stood out as like the weirdest thing you saw?
Oh, that's just Vegas. There's just the things in and around Vegas. Nothing to do with the show.
There was a Wookiee on one of the stands. I don't know if you saw that.
I did not see that.
Bug Assault. Did you see Bug Assault at the show?
No, I didn't see that stand.
Yeah, they were there.
Yeah.
And then also my lack of knowledge of gun celebrities stood out.
Yep. I think I noticed a few more people than you did.
No idea.
Yeah.
I had this girl got on the bus to range day in front of me, and she seemed very, very busy looking at Instagram or doing something, replying to people. Okay, do your thing. And anyway, I think I saw her one night at Circle Bar, and I went up to her. I said, "Oh, how did you enjoy range day? Tell me about you." And then found her Instagram and followed that. And then today you ran into her.
I did.
And you're like, "Oh, I know who that is."
Yeah, I followed her for years.
Clueless.
Yeah, there you go.
Not paying enough attention, I guess. There's another guy who I had no idea who it was. All these people were going up getting photos with him, and went up to him that night. I'm like, "Hey man, I have no idea who you are. Can you tell me about yourself?"
What do you do?
Turns out he's like well over 1 million followers on Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that.
Yeah, that'll.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be why people were getting photos with him.
Yeah. Good luck to you, man. Hope you're doing well. So I let him take a photo with me.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, we're about to hit 50K. It's fine.
Anyway, it has been fun. Tonight we are going to a Vegas show, finally.
Yeah, I know, at the end of the week.
The end of the week, right when we're going to walk in, sit down like this. So.
Yeah, I know, we went out for pizza last night, and I had already had like 3 micro sleeps on the bed.
Yeah.
Where I just passed out, looked at my phone, I was like, oh, yep, that was a mini sleep.
It's full on, but it's good. Hope you guys enjoyed the videos. There'll be more and more coming. There's quite a few in the bank.
There is.
So they'll be coming out over the next week or two. Cheers for watching. Thanks for
Cheers, guys.
your comments, and we will see you when we get back.